Martin Sexton was a huge hero of mine. He's still like,
he owns that space of the solo performer.
Yeah.
Like he's the everything.
He's a troubadour. He's still doing, but I remember being in the box office at the House of Blues with this little closet under the stairs downstairs, and that I was just sitting there like with the PC that they had for the thing, and like kind of earlier internet days in a way, and I learned about, somebody had played me Martin Sexton. I'll never forget the moment I heard it. It was like the music, everything just spoke so deeply to me, and I was like, what is this? And so I just learned as much as I could about him, and I was like, at the time it said like he sold like 100,000 tapes out of his trunk or something, and he was just one room at a time. So like seeing that one room at a time, like that's a thing you can do. You can go tour and like do, like that became like, that's what I want to do.
You calm my nerves, ease my mind, and you hit me with the healing, show me what the real thing is. Bright lights, I'm blinding, and I need reminding that my light shines brightest when I see the bright side of you.
Ryan Montbleau. Dude, thank you so much for stealing away from the wild Americana circus that's taking place right now in Nashville.
No problem.
To talk with us for a second.
It's a very calm area of the circus right now.
It's a veritable respite.
Yeah.
No one can get to you. Good place to hunker down in case of an apocalypse. I've thought about it. I don't know why. I've been looking forward to this ever since yesterday, I think, when we finally
yeah, me too.
But I've been a fan of yours for 2 decades, I think, and just following your career kind of, on social and as a fellow troubadour. It was mostly, I think, Ships in the Night with us. But that's what I want to talk to you about because I feel like you occupy a unique space in the tapestry of singer-songwriterdom, which is that of the hardcore, seasoned, traveling solo artist. I'm going to say that even though I know you play with a band, who's now, is it fair to say, like in your 3rd decade of this?
Yeah, it's been 22 years full time, and I was doing it 4 years before that. So
yeah. And so that's just to me like a really rich history, and a lot of experience goes into that. And also just like the stamina it takes to do this. People, I think I find it even, as one, I'm going to put myself in your category for a second, permit me.
Sure.
As one of you guys, I marvel at the others of us that are doing this, and how like people don't know how difficult it is. And it's not like difficult once or one night. It's just relentlessly kind of difficult with moments of blinding brilliance and glory like this moment.
That's exactly it. Pretty much.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
You have a great show or a great award or you have these little blips in the middle of these long periods of just showing up and doing the work. And
I had it last night. I had a blip last night at the Station Inn that I needed, that I didn't know how badly I needed.
You told us about that when you came in.
Yeah. Flipped my whole world around.
What was it about that show? If you can,
I'm here in Nashville all week, and like, the Americana conference, and there's like, I think like any of us, like you get this imposter syndrome thing or something. It's not, I don't know. It's not that I feel like an imposter, but I don't know. Everyone else seems so brilliant. And if you do, I had kind of a weird showcase the other day that was like, okay, but it was just a different, I don't know, you don't know it until you get it. Last night, amazing venue, amazing crowd. I felt great, in my power. I locked the room in. They were chatty, and then they weren't. And it was like that. It's like, you'd like to think you don't need that validation, like I was saying, but you do. Like, I don't know. I need it. It really flips my whole world around.
Yeah. And you don't, it's not like you need it once. It's kind of, and not to say that
it's
we're
weird
needy,
that
you just sort of need it regularly.
Yeah. You think after all these years, it's like, no, in a certain way, I care less in a good way than I used to. It used to be really life or death every time. Now it's like, if you have what feels like a bad show, I know it wasn't that bad. And also no one got hurt. It's okay. You know what I mean? Yeah. Now it's like, okay, but more than ever now, I need this part of the job that is the best job in the world, like I need that. And it's the greatest.
Can relate. And I mean, in some ways, it's just like in this line of work, you're, from one perspective, just like always auditioning for the next opportunity. And by auditioning, you're like, am I moving this audience? Will they want to come back? And so there's never a time where you've like arrived. You're always arriving, which is good and bad.
Totally. And I think about it because like you spend so many years first of all, you spend so many years trying to get gigs that it's just ingrained in you to take them. And then when you start getting them, it's still really hard to like say no to things, but also like winning over, it's still ingrained in me that I need to win over the room. And it literally was only like a couple of years ago that I was like, it finally dawned on me like, wait a minute, like all these people are here for me. They bought tickets for me. Whatever room I'm playing, you know what I mean? It's almost like this thing you forget about because it's still like, I got to win them over. It's like, actually, they're on board.
They're here for you.
They're rooting for me.
Yeah.
And that has really helped, honestly, to embrace that. But I still have this like kind of chip on my shoulder of like, oh God, I got to get them or something, you know?
Yeah. And probably last night was a reversion to that past iteration of you where a lot of those people had never seen you before, or maybe, a fair
some of them had. I was pleasantly surprised when they like said my name and people, I was like, oh, okay. I literally said it to the crowd. I was like, great, but there was other people that clearly like, yeah, I'm going to try to win them over.
I hope, in the Nashville way, arms crossed, like, let's see what this kid's
they were not that last night. They were great. It was so good. And the Station Inn was so cool. It was just like such a vibe.
Have you been there before?
I'd never been there. And it's like the blessing to walk into this place and then a half hour later I'm on the stage and I get to play a set. Are you kidding me?
Amazing.
It's like fucking unbelievable.
Welcome to Nashville.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Totally. I gotta get out of here. Nashville's always like, it's 3 days of the most intense shit of my life because I'm trying to do as much as I can. And I'm like, I should move here. And then 3 days later, I'm like, I gotta get the fuck out of here. It's like really intense, but I love it here.
Yeah, it's its own flavor. And let's talk about your decision. I want to go way back for in a minute. But first, you moved to Burlington from like the Boston area.
Yeah.
And when was that?
2016. I was actually technically living in New York, but I still had a room north of Boston in the old band house. And that's Massachusetts is where I grew up. It's always been home. But I was calling Brooklyn home for a couple of years and still just kind of searching for home. And then, 2016, I tried out Burlington. I had some friends up there and then, bought a house there 5 years ago.
Congratulations, man.
Thanks.
That's
another 25 years will all be mine. It's gonna be great.
I somehow tricked somebody into letting me own this house.
Wow.
And it was like the only smart thing I've ever done in my life.
I won't tell anyone.
I mean, not enormously smart, but smart enough.
Pretty smart. Smart enough. Smart enough.
But you moved to Burlington, and like being in Brooklyn, it's kind of like being in a version of, it's a similar crucible, we'll say, of ambition and opportunity and goings on as Nashville. Yeah. And was your decision to move to Burlington prompted by a desire to get away from all of that, or was it just merely a house opened up?
It was like I was looking for home. It was like I had been on the road for near 20 years or something, and I was still, my buddy who's in New York, it's still a great friend of mine, an old college buddy. He's a New York guy, and I was there and and I was like, I think I'm moving to Burlington. I was like, dude, it's just so beautiful. The people are nice. They got this skate park right down by the lake and whatever. He's like, skate park? Like, what are you talking about? He's like, I thought you were like into your career and you were like, you need to be here and stuff. I was like, dude, I need to live. And I hadn't focused on, I'm still struggling with that. Like just, you spend your life on the road and it's like you get to see all these great things, but never being in one place for very long. It's like I'm still a beginner when it comes to like my home life and my, as you grow, you realize, God, I could have answered on a test 20 years ago the importance of community and family and friends, but now it's like you live into the realities of that and the lack of that when you're just going a million miles an hour all the time. And it's like, so I went there to live. Like I had a few friends up there and I caught a sunset at Oak Ledge Park up in Burlington, and I was like, I could get used to this, and just tried it out, and it kind of stuck. And so it's still like, there's nothing really completely tying me there, rooting me there, other than I really love the place and I bought a house there. But it's like, I don't know. I could, I don't know where it'll take me, but I do love it there.
Did you find it hard to build and or maintain a community even after having moved there, since you were like still on the road all the time?
Yeah, I'm still struggling with that. Yeah. I played for a party of my friends in Burlington last week and it was so different. I'm not used to that. And of course, my brain, I'm like, fuck, what song am I going to play? I'm like trying to impress I'm gigging. I'm in gig mode.
Yeah.
But I'm like, just hang out. It's still, that's still like my struggle. You know what I mean? I have community, I have friends, but a lot of my friends that are also traveling musicians. We're never home at the same time, or there's other people just assume I'm not there. So it's still a struggle.
Unrelated for a moment, what are your feelings about karaoke?
I love karaoke.
Are you good at it?
I wouldn't say I'm good at it, but I love it. It's an interesting thing being a professional singer or whatever, and then going to do karaoke, because it's a very fine line. Like nobody wants to hear the professional singer at the karaoke. It's not, you're kind of a prick. Like it's not. Totally. So song choice is very important. And it's like, no, for karaoke, it's a different thing that will make you kill it at karaoke. And I love it, but I wouldn't say I'm great at it.
Yeah. I mean, that you love it already separates you from me, because
Really?
I am both not great at it, and nor do I enjoy it, because I apparently just not take myself seriously. I just am like, maybe I'm just not entertaining, but
sure you are though.
I think you're just fun. I don't like fun. Okay.
You're not fun. We were talking about this the other day. Like, remember fun? That was a thing. Remember that? I want to get back to that. When you're a kid, it's like fun is like a priority. It's a thing. Now it's like, I don't know. You're fun, man. You should.
I have a version of fun, but I'm not trying to be funny a little bit, but I just noticed I don't like it. I just notice what happens the 2 times I've done it. I'm like, wow, these people are uncomfortable.
And so am I.
And I'm not that. And also, I'm not like the greatest singer. I'm not like a kind of singer.
Yeah, but that's good. The song that you chose. So you've only done it twice, though. You gotta
keep trying. The Lipstick Lounge is like right around the corner from my house, and that's just like the epicenter of karaoke here in town. I need to show up and take a shot.
Shoot down there, sing one song, go try it out.
Not even tell the wife.
Go embarrass yourself
after dinner.
Come home, see how it feels.
Okay, well, filing that one away.
I like doing When I'm 64 by the Beatles. That's a nice, like, kind of middle of the road. Feels good in my range. But I have gotten my ass kicked on some Stevie Wonder that I thought I could do back. Or, it's
I think you could do that.
I can do it, but those original keys are very high.
He had that particular voice, didn't he? Yeah.
It's so, the keys are like, anytime I cover Stevie Wonder, you have to take down the key. It's like covering Michael Jackson or something. It's like, that's cool, but we're going to take it down like a fifth.
Totally.
And I'm going to take down a fifth. No.
Well, on your note of community and lack thereof, I found that as I got older, I started realizing that I felt like my life was passing by. And in the absence of that, I spent my 30s, like you're doing now, playing like 150, 200 shows a year, and just like everything was for the gig. Everything was touring. Yeah. And I was just like, that was living the dream. And then at some point I was just like, I kind of need to know. Well, I think there were 2 things. The community thing was part of it, but the other part of it was that like touring life is actually very not creative. It's a lot of logistics. It's load in, load out. It's plane tickets, hotel keys, Wi-Fi passwords, constantly, all of that stuff, the mechanics of it. And I figured out that I'm really like kind of, for one of a better way of putting it, like a daydreamer at heart. And that backing that down was in some ways an act of faith that I would be okay if I wasn't constantly gigging. And in other ways, just like a desire to just try something new, I think. Anyway,
yeah.
But
I feel all of that.
Yeah, it's a common lament with the touring singer-songwriter touring.
It's almost like even just to write, you need, like I heard Mason Jennings used to like just get off the road once in a while and get a job and work it for a year, just to be like a human, just to live life, even just so that he could write about it. Like, you know what I mean? So even just as a writer, you can be inspired from the road, and I can written some little things on a plane or something, but they can't all be road songs.
Yeah, let's talk about that. Like, how do you write? How do you manage to squeeze it in?
I feel like I don't. It's so funny. I'm into this constant thing where I feel like I'm never doing it, but then people look and like, God, you had a lot of records. It's like, well, I guess I am doing it at some level. I don't know. I mean, I'm always have the antenna up for ideas and scraps and like notes in my phone, notes in my notebook and stuff. There's always like I'm kind of scrapping it out one line at a time here and there. I'll think of an idea that I had for a song and work out one line of a verse while I'm in the car. And then 6 months later, I think about it again. And then 5 years later, I finish the song or something like that. But anytime I have shown up in a disciplined way to do the work, good things always happen. I just don't always do that. But when I do it, it's like, the thing of just showing up.
Yeah, I imagine, like what I found to be true was it was very hard to come back off the road and not not feel like, okay, I've got 3 days, I should probably write something. Instead of, I've got 3 days, like, let's go sit at my friend's pool.
Oh yeah.
Which is,
I can't move for the first day or two. And then it's like, I'm a zombie at home. It's like, even just having the time to get back into that mode of some other kind of work again is like, it's challenging.
Yeah.
Go to the pool.
Always go to the pool.
Go to the pool.
But then at the same time, it's
have a friend with a pool.
I think it's a great way. It's great to say go to the pool when you're the person who can't go to the pool. But that is only the perspective of somebody who's actually doing the work and getting shit done, because the world is full of very talented people who don't write songs, who never get around to it because they go to the pool. So those two things, it's really hard to hold those. It's really hard not to be a workaholic, I feel like, in this line of work, and not be by extension sort of a high-strung person. Do you feel like you're a high-strung person?
I do in many ways, like I do. I have a lot of anxiety, and my father was a workaholic. And so I feel that in me, and I watched him, he passed away last year, and I watched him, his anxiety, thank you. And just his workaholism work itself into the dementia that took over his life the last few years, and watch him be stressed out about working on his deathbed. So I feel those things in me, and I don't want to go down that road, but I feel that for sure. And I think that's part of how I've built a career, is like having the work ethic and just going and just relentlessly go. My friend Julian Villard calls me a gigging sociopath. And it's like, he's not wrong in a way. I just got shot out of a cannon when I decided I wanted to do this. And it's like, all right. And I still am, I have a career because of that, but I'm also paid some personal toll because of that. But here we are.
What's your background? What did your dad do?
He was he was an accountant basically, but had his own business. He was like management consulting in the advertising world, but he did a lot of like the numbers and of those things. So he was basically like a really high level accountant, and just worked, his hands were smooth, but he worked his brain to the core, and it became where the only thing to him worth doing ever was working, so he would have his little office in the house, and it's like, we're all watching a movie on Christmas. He's like, no, I got to work. It's like, no, you don't. So it was just, and I sort of get it, the mentality that led to that. And I'm trying to be cautious of that. But,
did he have any hobbies?
I wish he did. Yeah. As time went on, he didn't, he really didn't. And he lost kind of like, not losing friends in a kind of, flame out way or something, but he just lost connection, lost interest in these other things. And me and him would talk about sports and stuff. And, but a hobby could have extended his life years, I think,
Yeah. All of these things you're saying resonate with me. My own dad's workaholic, same. I inherited a lot of the same stuff. And I also am sort of categorically incapable of taking on a hobby, though I've softened my position later in life.
Yeah,
I can take care of a plant. Or a couple of plants.
Wow. Show me the way.
I know. I actually just reseeded the front lawn because just manual labor is my like respite from brain work and just like figuring out what's next. But yeah, I think that my own father doesn't have any hobbies now that he's retired. He does the crossword puzzle every day, and he watches every
I do
Dodgers
the crossword puzzle every day.
Oh, I think it's not
nothing, but I need something else. I do.
I love the crossword puzzle.
I can't get enough.
Over for me.
Somehow it's all I want to do. I don't know if that's like just an age threshold I crossed.
Well, you get to like once you start like being able to finish the Wednesday one, you're like, damn, maybe I can do the Thursday one now.
And doing it, I got through a whole week without any hints. Washington Post. Dude. Yep.
That's masterstroke.
Yep.
What? Okay, wait.
I have no friends.
Another non sequitur here. What is the hardest one? Is it Saturday or Sunday? Sunday's the big one.
Sunday's the big one. Saturday's kind of harder, I feel like.
I think Saturday's the hardest
Sunday's the big one.
Yeah. Sunday's like the everyone one.
Monday's like get out of here. It's
yeah. No problem. Monday's like go to time, like set your stopwatch and see how
exactly.
Fast that's what's fun about Monday. So God, we are fucking dorks.
We're so old.
So what is there and a way that you could relate, like an early indication that you had some desire and facility for playing music, be it singing or guitar or songwriting?
My father played bass in a band in college. And so it was like when I was growing up, he had a bass in the closet with a bass amp, and it would come out once a year kind of thing. So it was a thing that existed. And my uncle played guitars and stuff, but it was like nobody like did it for a living or showed you how to do it or anything. It was just kind of there. And then, I got a guitar for Christmas when I was 8, and I would play it, pick it up, put it down, like, but nothing serious, like all through high school. And I sang in chorus and like would match the notes, but not like I would dream about like people would get the solo. I'd be like, God, if I had the solo, and I could sing to this girl. So, but there was no way I was doing that like in reality.
Because
I
you
couldn't
weren't good enough, or you were
sing. I didn't sing till I was 21. So I was playing. I went away to college and got obsessed with playing guitar. Like I just played and played and played. It was like depressed for the first time, singing the blues and walking around campus crying, writing poetry, and just being very like in that age, and just like a lot was coming out. And then I started studying poetry and I was writing, and then my last semester of college I started singing, and it was literally just like it was hard to let it out to myself in the car. It was a really weird, a voice is such a weirdly personal thing. And I had this voice I could kind of hear always from wanting the solo in 7th grade or whatever. And there was no way I could do that. I was 21. I was like finally starting to like squeak it out. And so then I was graduating, and I was like, that was the point. I was like, well, I'm playing guitar and I'm writing poetry and I'm singing. So, and everyone at that point is asking, what are you going to do when you're graduating? What are you going to do? What are you going to do? I was like, I think I'm a musician. So just been figuring it out.
It wasn't a resounding announcement. It was more like
it was really like, no, but it really like, but I knew though, I did. It really did was like, it was kind of like that. The way it dawned on me, like it just kind of came really naturally. But once I decided, I was like, I am a musician. This is what I do. It was very quickly after that I was like kind of shot out of the cannon to just like take any gig I could get and figure it out.
Well, so what was your first gig like? Like open mic, coffee shop?
Well, in college, I was like third guitar player in a jam band kind of thing, and just being idiots and like getting stoned to set up a PA.
But I mean, when you were the
out.
guy, and
when I got out of college, I set up my dad's PA system from 1967 and had a gig at Bobby Burns on Cape Cod and like played covers for this like restaurant people like but I got a job at the House of Blues, the original one in Harvard Square, which was a small venue, and I worked the box office and answered the phones, and I did other jobs there too, but just to learn, like they had live music 7 nights a week from all over the world, and I had no idea. I was like, how do people do this? I went there to basically learn, and then eventually I would get like a matinee slot there, or I got to open for people eventually, and like I opened for Kelly Joe Phelps in like 2001.
Did that lead me on record? The solo.
He's so good. He was so, yeah.
I had a very formative or an important formative moment with him at my college when he came by and he just played.
Where was that?
I went to school in Bellingham, Washington, north of Seattle. And
I play in Bellingham.
Yeah, I'm sure you have. Yeah. At the Green Frog maybe, or the Wild Buffalo.
Buffalo.
Yeah. Nice. It's still there. It's great. But yeah, he was just had that, his acoustic guitar set up like a dobro, with the slide and everything. But then it was cool to see him play, but then his voice was so great. And it was like,
he was tapped in.
It was, the groove was so deep. And I also, in that format, the school, by the time I was playing music, no longer had this venue, and it's really sad. But it was just like a total listening, environment. It was just like a guy on the stage playing, and that is still like the template for what I love most. I love like a lot of space between the notes. I like to hear the song. I like to hear the singer, and a band is cool, but and sometimes necessary. But to me, it's like never as good as like the single or duo, or maybe a trio.
I would agree. I mean, it's funny to even say out loud because I have a band. I have a tremendous band. I love doing that.
Yeah.
But the solo thing is really
the heart of it.
I think. I mean, it's always there, and like it's always something I'll always do. And the band is something I'll always do also. But it is really nice to have the muscle of a band for certain settings, and like to really, because the goal for me is to like, I do want to move people viscerally, and a band can really do that. I also want to tug at your heartstrings with the lyrics and like pull you in, you know? And like the masters to me do that. Like when I see Paul Simon, like his band is so sick that they will move your body, but then he's pulling at you with these, you know, and that's kind of my true north in a way.
Yeah. Maybe it's fair to say you describe, or your early being shot out of the canyon was a combination of just your decision to do it and then your willingness to just like put in the work and keep showing up and not being a moron, like, you know, showing, like being able to hold down a job at House of Blues, for instance.
And do that. And I remember Martin Sexton was a huge hero of mine. He's still like,
he owns that space of the solo performer.
Yeah.
Of like, he's the everything.
He's a troubadour. He's still doing, but I remember being in the box office at the House of Blues with this little closet under the stairs downstairs. And I was just sitting there, like with the PC that they had for the thing. And like, kind of earlier internet days in a way, and I learned about, somebody had played me Martin Sexton. I'll never forget the moment I heard it. It was like the music, everything just spoke so deeply to me, and I was like, what is this? And so I just learned as much as I could about him, and I was like, it's at the time it said like he sold like 100,000 tapes out of his trunk or something, you know, and he was just one room at a time. So like seeing that one room at a time, like that's a thing you can do. You can go tour and like do, like that became like, that's what I want to do. And it was so clear, like from the beginning, to just go do the thing. And I needed the reps. It wasn't like, I need reps, so I'm going to go work on my craft it was like, no, I can play at this open mic. I'm going to do that. I can play at this one. I'm going to sign up at that one too. And and it was just like, I was relentless about and I played the shittiest sports bar gigs. I played at TGI Fridays in my hometown. I played like in Harvard Square. I played, you know, just whatever. And then I had some good gigs too, but I don't know. I knew I wanted to do it. So music is great like that. It's not like I have to sit in a room for 5 years and work on my novel before it's ready. I can go down the street and get a gig.
On the job training is part of the deal. Yeah.
Yeah, it's there. There are gigs that you just have to go do. I still do open mics and stuff. I love to play. Like I knew I wanted to do it, so it's like, go do it.
What was the watershed moment in your early career where all of a sudden you were like, okay, maybe I'm not going to have to play the TGI Fridays anymore. Maybe I've got like something else here.
I'm still doing the TGI Fridays. It's a great, yeah.
And nothing against
TGI
Fridays.
Really like their wings. No, it's closed down now. No, what it was the goal. It's in some ways I've never refined the goal, which I probably should go back and do, from like just, I want to make a living playing music. And so I just needed enough gigs. At that point, I was working at the House of Blues, but I was also a substitute teacher in my old high school, which is a whole trip. I was doing gigs, and subbing was really good because it was like optional work. You could actually say no, and I would have gigs the night before. I'd be working at the House of Blues, and then I would take some hardcore like 4-hour naps in the afternoon to get sleep and whatever. Like, anyway, but I just wanted enough gigs that I could do only music, and eventually I did that, which included all my shitty bar gigs, whatever, but I was playing enough. I was playing 15 to 18 times a month around Boston, basically. And that was enough to quit my substitute teaching and just do that. And then like 6 months later, I got a couple real gigs from that. I got into The Point in Bryn Mawr, Pennsylvania, which I went to Villanova, so it was right there. And this guy, Jesse Lundy, booked me there. And then I got into Berkfest, which was like a hippie fest in Western Mass, you know, on the small stage or whatever. But I did it. And so I had a couple real things. And then I just remember the few real things I had, a couple people told this one guy, Tom Baggett, about me, and he started booking me, and he was like, all right, now you're going to play Boston once a month. And I was like, you're crazy because I need to make a living. But he was right. And he's like, eventually you're going to play it once every 6 months. And I was like, you're crazy. But sure enough, within a couple of years, the band did like 600 people at the Paradise or whatever. It was that model of like saturate where you are and then leave and then play one big show. So that was kind of the moment, was him putting me on the road. That was he was a whole other set of problems too, but I love the guy, but you know, but that was kind of it, you know, because that was different than me just taking my bar gigs. That was like, okay, now we were hitting Albany every 6 weeks. We were doing all
some intentionality.
a little bit. Yeah. Anyway,
but it wasn't you weren't generating the intentionality, let's say, in like maybe spiritually, but like strategically.
I still have trouble with intentionality and strategy. I need help with that.
I think it's a great subject. When you said that, maybe I should refine my goal, because my goal has always been to make, play music. I thought, well, yeah, you probably should. But then I also thought how enigmatic goal setting is for like, it's like, the opposite of it's anathema to
that makes me feel better.
Pursuit.
It's like, why do I struggle so much? I really have trouble like honing in on I truly believe I can manifest whatever I want. I just can't decide what it is, what to do.
I have, God help us, a lot to say on the subject, but I'm going to do a small version of it. But having been putting out music again after like really taking 7 years off to work in film and work on this very specific large project, and like looking up and being like, oh wow, my Spotify numbers are hilariously dismal, and it doesn't even look like I'm anything. I've never had a career at all ever. I should probably make an effort in the more traditional or neo-traditional route. Anyway, so I took up this guy, Jesse Cannon. He's a very active person in music marketing right now, and his advice and like different strategies, like rolling out your songs, and all, very strategic and intentional approach. And I am adhering to it as well as a fundamentally daydreaming, disorganized person can, and with the results that you would think would be gained by such an approach. And and then I saw yesterday Jesse Wells, who's like, just
killing it right
superstar.
Yeah.
I mean, he just wrote a song about Charlie Kirk yesterday and posted it in his way.
Really?
And it's fucking spot on.
Yeah.
I mean, Jesse Wells, I mean, like gold isn't the right word, but it's just like so, I don't know, balanced or something. Open-hearted. I don't know.
He's brilliant.
He's brilliant, but his advice was just like, put your music up and see who likes it. Post your music and see who likes it. That's been my strategy. And that's not a strategy. That's not an intention. That is like the direct connection between the thing that's driving you, because there's, you have an intention when you're trying to write a song, and you, like you said, when you put the time in and you show up, you write the song. You usually have good results.
But even that, it's like more of a process of discovery or something, at least the way I write. I don't necessarily have an intention even with that.
Yeah.
So my career feels the same way. Let's discover like what this is, but then I'm just on the road 1 million days a year and maybe doing the same thing. So it's like, I need help with that. I need guidance.
I can relate to that so much. And that's why I said the thing about Jesse, because I felt encouraged by that, and also like challenged in a way of like, stop overthinking every
shit out there.
Just put your shit out there and move on. And like, it's easy. It's also like, it gets harder when you're older and, you feel like time's running. I don't know. There's all kinds of a new set of insanities that jump on your shoulders. But I think in general, it's still pretty good advice to just spend as much time as possible doing the art, and less time thinking about how best to position the art for the greatest result.
Totally. Totally. Or get other people for that.
To get other people. I think most of the time the creative person just absolutely just needs the strategic person, because
absolutely. Yeah. And that's always been, it's funny from the beginning, that's always been the thing of like, well, I could just find this way so that I could just create and write. But the touring is sort of another part of that, where it's like, I got to open for Mavis Staples years ago in the UK, and we're going down and this woman, Vicky Randall, who would sing with her. I think she's still singing with her. Brilliant woman, brother's an opera singer, like just amazing family by all accounts. But she was like, I never forget this moment where she's like, we're talking about this touring, and like as a musician, you have to tour, you have to play gigs or whatever, and it keeps you from doing the art in a way. Like you perform it, but it keeps you from creating the thing. And she's like, yeah, as musicians, it's like we're forced to do this thing that keeps us from doing the thing that we do. Mm-hmm. I was like, brilliant. That's kind of what it is, But you can't really, I don't know. Some people may write on the road. I guess Jesse Wells is doing it, but it's hard, man.
It's pretty hard. And anymore, I liken the current state of the industry to being the equivalent of a self-checkout line, where all of the tools are provided. Yeah, totally. Everyone's got the same tools. If this is a studio, we've all got an iPhone now, and you can do everything's the same, except you just have to do it all yourself. And people who are really good at that or winning in the space, musical.
Other people are like, I liked when there was a woman here that would check me out or whatever, or like, and I would just talk to that guy for a minute or whatever, like
that's what I like.
It's just like this lonely, like, just suck the humanity out of things.
I think on balance, the world's not better off in the current iteration for basically everything, but music especially.
We're paying for, we're like paying for convenience with like at the price of like community. You know what I mean? We're all just retreated to whatever small corner we can find and just keep our space.
We could go down that path, and we might, but just to keep it not too dark and sad. You've actually, here's a common limit, and I think that you've had a different experience, is that people that maybe don't have a big presence on Spotify, or Spotify didn't work for them very well, or doesn't, they hate Spotify, and they have found, maybe other ways to make money, but the common lament is just like, fuck Spotify. Yeah. And I think that I saw a recent, interaction or something on Instagram where you were like, actually, it's been great for me.
I always kind of raise my hand. It puts me in a weird spot because it has been, I can only speak really from my own experience, and Spotify and streaming has been overwhelmingly positive for me and my career and my life and my bank account and everything. I'm not a rich man, but game-changing like level of like, I don't have to tour my face off forever. And part of it is I own my own records. Part of it is a lot that I've built up a grassroots following of listeners over 25 years of doing it, and it's that real. And then also, some luck I got on some playlists, but Spotify is pretty good at like giving people what they want to hear, and I have fit into that algorithm or whatever. And so I can't, so it's really puts me in an awkward spot because so many of my musician friends, so many people I respect and still do and always will. It's like, fuck Spotify. They're the fucking devil. And it's like, I get that also, but I just kind of raise my hand, and no one really engages with me on those things. They don't want to hear it. Yeah. I feel like, but I'm just kind of like, hey, I'm an independent artist, and I didn't lobby Spotify to get on, but it's been like really, really good for me as an independent artist. So I just have to kind of say that. And I'm not trying to like take away from, I get why people don't like it, but I don't know. Part of it is owning all my own records. I think that's a big part of it. People have a label or something. They're splitting up the cookie jar anyway at the peanuts. And I don't know. It's an awkward thing.
I think, the contrarian spirit is welcome here, sir. I always love hearing somebody that has had a different experience in like almost on every issue. I kind of enjoy hearing both sides. And I think that in your case, it is a testament to your fucking busting your ass for 25 years and just winning those people.
I'm proud of it. Like those numbers mean a lot to me, actually. It's not everything, but it's really gratifying because I don't have a lot of that in my life. I'm not filling like huge venues. I fill a lot of small rooms. And to see these numbers that say millions looking back at me and just being like, these are the amount of people who are listening to your music. These are the countries they're listening in. It's like people listening.
So validating.
It's super validating, and it makes me feel better and gives me fuel to keep going, and literally like does pay me like really well, really help me out to do that.
500,000 monthly listeners. I just checked. It's crazy. That's no joke.
It really is gratifying.
So all that gratification comes at a price, my friend.
Lay it out.
And the price is your soul.
But that's the thing. I haven't sold my soul. I'm proud of it because of that.
I totally agree with you. And I didn't mean it in that context. I did mean though that there are sacrifices in everything in life, and like what we were talking about earlier, the community side of it. And you just did mention, and we can also, anything I ask you, we don't have to go there. We can just chop it off, and nobody will ever. No one will be the wiser. But you just had it, like you went through a breakup recently, and that probably doesn't get any easier as you go through life.
No, it doesn't. You want me to talk about that?
Yeah, I do. I just think it's interesting, and I think it's relevant to the discussion because it's being gone a lot is hard. It's hard to maintain a relationship.
It's hard to. Yeah, it's hard. Being a musician and being in a relationship and being a touring musician and stuff, I feel like is a lot to put somebody else through in a way. And I think, it's just hard because you're away a lot. And then when you come home, it's like, I still seek space in a way. I need, alone time. And it's just, it's hard. It puts a strain. I feel like I'm 48 years old. It's getting weird, man. I'm 48 and I'm single again, and I have no children of my own. And yeah, that's part of the price that I paid. Not actively. I wasn't like, I don't need a relationship, I'm going to be on the road. I was like, I can do it all. And then as you go on, you're like, okay, I have a career, but I like my chances. I could.
Handsome guy.
Oh, thanks, man. I feel all right. I've been going to the gym.
Looking fit.
I still have hope, but no, I was just. It's hard. We really, the relationship I was just in, is her and her daughter, who I love them both very much, and we really started. The pandemic sped up our living together. She was living in a different state, and we had known each other, and we got together, and it was like the pandemic sped up. It was like, why don't you just come out to Vermont? Come with me. You come, bring your daughter. Let's live together. Let's try it. And I think we would have hemmed and hawed more over that if it wasn't the pandemic. Like, what are we doing? So they came, lived with me in my apartment in Burlington for a few months, and then I bought a house for us to live in, and the pandemic was really beautiful for me because all of a sudden I wasn't on the road for the first time in 20 years. I didn't have to go anywhere. I was doing these live streams from my apartment every Friday or my house. And I had these beautiful people that lived in my house who I loved. And there were plants that were alive. And there was food getting made that wasn't me microwaving some shit or whatever, and it just was beautiful. But then for me personally, the realities of us in the particular relationship I was in, moving out of that bubble and going into the world together and whatever that meant didn't work. And there were other problems too. So it was like, it's hard, man. Hard thing to go through again. Here I am again, single again. I've sort of been through these cycles before, and thank God it's not a perfect circle. It's a spiral. It's like, I'm a little different than I was before. I'm hopefully evolving.
If you could put into words, the nature of that evolution, what have you learned? How is Ryan Montbleau in his 25th year different from the Ryan Montbleau in his 48th year?
It's a really good question. I think, like I said earlier, I could have answered it correctly on the test. Family, friends, community, are so important. But I still would have, now it's like, I'm still on the road and stuff, but now I really feel those things as central to life. And that is what life is, so I haven't lived into that enough of that lesson to really embrace those things and prioritize those things in my life. And I'm trying, I do feel that so much more, and I think losing my dad and stuff, you grow up, it's like you realize how short life is, and it's like, what am I doing, As much as I love this and it is the greatest job in the world, I think, it's tough. And there are those moments where it's like, I don't know if I want to be sound checking in Ohio right now. I have a home that I'm trying to get back to, there is that, Ellis Paul, I saw a quote, he was like, at some point, all that drive that you had to get away and go places, it's going to turn the other way, and you're just going to want to go home. And I can feel that starting to shift, I miss my dog right now, it's like, I miss my mom and stuff. So
I feel like I went through that I'm on the other side of it now. Yeah. It's like now touring for the longest time was like pure adventure. Like, what's going to happen tonight? There's nothing at home for me. It's fine. Home is a place to sleep and pay rent and whatever. And now it's like the idea of touring is fun. Like I mentioned, I played a show last week for the first time in a couple of months in Idaho, where I grew up. And it was great, man. I love music. I'm good at it. I don't want to hang it up. I don't want to retire. It's like, I've built this thing. I wrote these songs, and I made, figured out how to do a show and talk to people between all the things that you just mentioned, like winning people over. It's a very similar attitude when I go play. And yet, when I was at that show, my wife and baby had to go home early. They weren't at the show. And there was this part of me that's just kind of, it wasn't like I couldn't wait for it to be over or anything, but it was like, I can't wait to get home.
Yeah.
It's so beautiful. It's so beautiful, dude. It's like, I think
I don't know, just the relentless workaholism nature of what we were talking about earlier. It's like you can keep putting it out there, and there's kind of no end to that. It's like, when are you going to be satisfied as career wise when you're Beyonce? Like, when it's like, that's not happening. As I get older, it's like, I'm not going to be Beyonce, and that's fine, or whatever. Am I going to fill stadiums? No, I don't know. You know, like, the weird thing in music is there's still a party that's like, well, you never know. You get a hit song or whatever, you know, but it's like, I don't know, the further you go, the more. And even the pandemic did this too, where it was like, God, I really love doing this. When you got to really play for people in a room, you really appreciate it. Or I got to go in the studio during the pandemic, where I used to be much more just stressed out and worried about the money I'm paying and all this stuff. But it was like, I was able to go into it finally with the spirit of like, God, isn't this amazing? Look at all this shit we get to play with and these amazing instruments, and like more of that. And shows can be more like that now, you know, where it used to, like, I still stress out, but it's not lost on me how amazing it is that people just still show up to stare at somebody playing music for 2 hours or whatever. And it's like, what a blessing to be in the room together. It's like, I don't know. I love it more than ever. I hope that continues. But I also, I don't know. I do love my home, and I don't know. I don't want to just tour my life away. This obviously is not me coaching you or something, but
no, is there a way to, tour less? Is there a way to just back it down from whatever it is now, 150 shows a year, to 75?
I mean, honestly, Spotify was a huge reason. I was doing 200 a year or whatever for 10 years straight with the old band, and then still going on my own. And it's like, Spotify took the edge off of that big time, has allowed me to have some semblance of a home life and helped me. It pays my mortgage, you know, it's crazy. And it's amazing, it's a blessing, you know? So that's part of it, keeping the mailbox money and all that going. But I also really I love teaching songwriting. Kind of found something there in these like workshops I've done and retreats and stuff. So it's like, that would be a way to like stay around, or at some point, maybe I'll be the songwriting professor at a school or something, or who knows. I mean, I could see that in my future.
Yeah, for sure.
It already is like more intentional with the touring. Like, instead of, just endlessly driving everywhere in the tour van, it's like I fly into a place, I rent a car, I do some bunch of shows in the Pacific Northwest, and I'm gone 5 days later, and I go back home. It's like, it's much more sane than it used to be.
Yeah.
So
yeah, there's some evolution. That sounds.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks, Coach.
Here's a non sequitur. I got a guitar. If you got a song,
I got songs. What do you need? Me and my friend Jesse D will do that to each other. Be like, dude, what's going on, man? You got any tunes? He's like, yeah, I got a couple tunes. What do you need, man? It's like, yeah, I got a song. Yeah, sure, man. Play a song. You got a guitar?
I got a guitar, and I think that I might have a guess as to what song you might play. That maybe you could set that up for us.
What do I do? No, I'll, there's one called Bright Side that, you know, is,
I know that one.
Like, yeah, okay. Yeah. I'll do that one. Okay. Unless you don't want me to do
Well,
that.
no, what's the story behind that one? Or how do you set this one up at the shows, you know? Or how did you? Now you don't have to, because
I kind of always play this one after I was just leaving, because that's where it comes on the record. So I don't even set it up, but I just feel this was what Anders Osborne produced that record, and I have a record called I Was Just Leaving. And, I'm just really proud of that record. It was one of the few times in my career that I felt like, it's like my heart is on that record, and the production lined up with where I was, and it's very raw. And Anders was an amazing producer, and he plays other things on the record. And then he brought in this engineer, Mark Howard, who was like Daniel Lanois' guy for decades, and his own thing, and he was amazing. So it was like we would track it in the control room of this. We had this beautiful Esplanade Studios. It's like this beautiful old church in New Orleans. They set up a grand piano and drums and organ and all this. So we used none of that. We did the whole record in the control room, and he plays it through the studio monitors while you're tracking. And like this guy, Mark Howard's like a genius, and it's got this shimmer to it. And so, I wrote the song in New Orleans. Actually, my buddy Chris Jacobs helped me finich the chorus at the time, and I was just like, I don't know, it's one of those ones I feel good about, and it's a recording I actually like of my own. I never do this, but it's like once in a while I'll put it on because I like listening to it, which never happens.
Yeah, that's a self-affirmation if ever there is one. Well, let's hear it.
All right.
looking for a bright side, mama, ever since about the day I was born. Always headed for a bright light, wondering what it might have in store. Through the dark of the dead-end roads and the people who are not what they seem, left myself alone again with me. And I was looking for a bright side, mama, when you took me in, you set me down slow. You calmed my nerves, eased my mind, and you hit me with the healing, show me what the real thing is. Bright lights and blinding, and I need reminding that my light shines brightest when I see the bright side of you. I was looking for a way out of the maze in those crazy days. Hung around long enough to peek out of the shade without changing my ways. I'm a champion, a prize-fighting lover, and I'm covered up with wounds from the war. But I'm yours if you want me, I'm yours. And I was looking for a bright side, mama, when you took me in, you set me down slow. You calmed my nerves, eased my mind, and you hit me with the healing, show me what the real thing is. Bright lights and blinding, and I need reminding that my light shines brightest when I see the bright side of you. The bright side of you, yeah. When I see the bright side of you. Your eyes get blinded, trying too hard to find it. And I get excited when I see the bright side, when I see the bright side of you. The bright side of you, yeah. When I see the bright side of you. The bright side of you.
That was fantastic, dude.
Oh, good. Likewise, man. It's good talking to you. You get it.
Well,
we're of the same ilk.
Yeah, I mean, we're all going through stuff. I'm going through my stuff right now. You know, I have, like what we said, it's great to be home. I said this to my wife last night. Our baby sleeps, you know, we've been trying to sleep train her so she starts in the pack and play, and she wakes up inevitably in the middle of the night. But yesterday she got a shot and so she's feeling kind of off, and that just makes us lose all resolve. And so she went directly to bed with us. And so we were just like, you know, ourselves were chilling out and getting ready to go to sleep. And she's just lying there asleep. And it's just so unspeakably beautiful. And so this is the upside of it. I'm like, this is worth kind of everything that I was afraid to trade. Like, or, you know, I was afraid to trade what I had for this. Yeah. And now that I have this, it's like worth every sacrifice without question. That said, I am in a place where I'm kind of like, you know, I'm 50 almost, and I've spent 7 years writing and developing a TV show that could well sell and do what I set out to do or not. And if it doesn't, then I spent 7 years learning a lot of something, but also at the cost of playing music and building my music career. So I'm like, this is, I don't know, shouldn't even say, we might have to cut this. This is like too candid, Jared. Just like, it's,
but you had to do
scared.
That.
Here's something that's scary to me is just like, is speaking out loud the things that you're afraid of. Especially like in a public space a little bit, but even to out loud to yourself. They say maybe that's some good advice is to don't voice your, I don't know. I've never cottoned to that. And I think it's helpful to say something that, what you're afraid of, because it makes other people who are also afraid go like, oh, okay.
Totally. That's
I'm
the
not
art
the
form.
only one.
That's good social media posting and stuff. All the stuff I posted, I was like, I don't know if I should do this. It's always that one that gets the biggest reaction. And it really, like, people like, you made me feel so much better.
Yeah.
Songs like that too. You get it as a songwriter. That's like what we have to do. That's the gig.
Just over and
Todd
over
Snyder
again.
puts that in a really, I forget how exactly what he says, but in his book, he says this is like, that's it. You have to talk about the hard thing. You have to keep looking at your heart and talk about this thing you don't want to talk about.
Yeah. It is the thing that, whatever is the ickiest, most painful thing is what's calling you. That's where you need to go directly, and how difficult that is.
Tough.
It's fun also you never get there. You're always arriving. We're always arriving at this thing. Ryan Montbleau, man, thank you so much for your
Korby
time. This is
Lenker.
fantastic
Pleasure
to talk to you.
Likewise. Let's do this again.
I look forward to
Maybe
it.
I'll move to this neighborhood or something, man.
There's a place for sale just right down the street. We'll figure it out for you. We'll see you soon.
All right. Cheers. See you, Korby.
Hey, thanks for watching. Go ahead and click here to like and subscribe. You can click right there to watch another video, or click here to watch a playlist featuring songs of the Morse Code Podcast. Okay, thank you very much.